Welcome to Girl Talk. We're so glad you can join us today. We're at America's Best Flowers, where they're talking all things spring.
Finally,
can't be more excited. There are actually birds, I think, inside their warehouse here chirping. It sounds like a very happy place. And so we'll be talking with those folks later. Speaking of spring, if you enjoy wine and you're wondering which wine pairs best with spring, we have just the person to help you with that. We have Chelsea Truce. She's with Wine Styles. They're in Sun Prairie. Thanks for joining us today, Chelsea.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, with the warmer weather coming, do people's taste for wine change, or do you always love a red and it's always a red?
I mean, everybody has their preference, but it definitely changes. With the warmer weather, people tend to shift from your darker, heavier reds into your lighter whites and rosés. Sauvignon Blancs and Chardonnays tend to be very popular come springtime, as well as rosés, which is a new thing that has really taken off recently.
Kind of like our food choices. You like the soup in the winter and the salads in the summer.
Yep, exactly.
So true. Let's talk a little bit about brands, because I'm wondering if there are some that are kind of go-tos, the most popular, or are there some more like unknowns that we should be looking out for?
So we try to carry things that you're not going to find at your larger retail stores. So we try to stay a little niche to make it fun and exciting to be there. One of our biggest brands, though, is going to be the Finca Los Primos White Blend, slightly effervescent, middle of the line for sweetness, but everybody loves it. It's a really easy drinking wine and pairs well with lots of different foods. So for spring, it's a great choice. Finca Los Primos.
Finca Los Primos. It's fun to say.
So what if you're somebody like me where I know I like wine, I like most kinds of wine, but I don't necessarily know the ins and outs of how to pick it, and I know you are using different wording to describe it, which makes it sound just so enjoyable. So how do you help people, I guess, select something that they're going to like if they're kind of like me?
Yeah, so when they come in, we kind of will ask some questions, like if you typically like reds or rosés, it kind of gives us a little direction, and then we'll continue to ask you questions. And we also have about 16 wines on tap that we can taste out for you and help narrow in what your particular taste is. And then we can go from there. We don't have everything, obviously.
Sure.
But we can get pretty close and then recommend different wines off of that.
That's so
Wines
helpful.
on tap. That's kind of a new concept for me.
Speaking of on tap, you also have beer there.
Yes.
And do you find that people's taste for beer changes with the season?
Indeed, yeah. Typically in winter, you're going for your heavier, dark beers. Stouts and porters are super popular. They kind of keep you warmer, if you want to say that. And then come spring, it's going to go towards lighter Maibachs, and IPAs especially start to take off in the springtime because they're just a lot easier drinking. Lagers you'll see come around too a lot.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I want to talk a little bit about is you've got this great sort of gift basket.
Yes.
So people are starting to think about maybe some outdoor parties, graduation parties, things of that nature. If you're going to a friend's house and you want to bring them something, let's talk a little bit about some of the choices.
Yeah, so if you don't know what they like for wine, we can get some good stuff in there for you, but then we have a few different options. We have the wire baskets, we have some wicker ones as well, and you can pick the stuff out. We can help pick things out. We'll put it all together and make it look nice, and we can even saran wrap them and put a bow on them so it looks official and everything like that.
Official.
So.
And this one we notice has crackers and some sort of a cheese mix in there too.
Yeah, we have lots of different food options that pair well with both things like crackers and dips.
Can you buy yourself a gift basket? That sounds perfect.
And I like these because you could keep this. This is something I would have out, in the house.
Absolutely.
And quick before we go, I want to mention your hours.
Yeah, so Monday through Wednesday we're open 11 to 8, Thursday through Saturday 11 to 9, and Sunday 1 to 5.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, Wine Styles is in Sun Prairie, or you can check them out online. We're at America's Best Flowers, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We are here today at America's Best Flowers in Cottage Grove. The birds are chirping, the sun is coming through the green roof. I mean, it is just gorgeous in here, and it really feels like spring. And we're going to be chatting with them a little bit later about different plants that you can bring into your home. And speaking of spring, I always feel like here in the Midwest, maybe over the winter time, we gain a few extra pounds from being indoors. Maybe you want a fresh look for spring and summer, and to help you just really revamp your look. And so I'm excited to introduce you to a new med spa coming to Sun Prairie. This is Aesthetic Artistry Med Spa, and with me I have Yvette Frazier. She's the Chief Operating Officer. So great to have you here.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
I'm really interested to just pick your brain about these different services because it's quite a few that are trending and I don't know everything about them, so excited to learn more. But first I want to know about all of the different services you guys provide.
Yep. Well, we're specialized in cool sculpting and Thermi Smooth, and we also offer hydrofacial and bamboo fusion massage.
Awesome. So quite a diverse, I guess, array of different services for folks.
Right. It's dealing with the body, and then as well as kind of like the relaxation with the bamboo, but skin, body. It's all the same thing.
And I'm really interested in this cool sculpting, right? Can you tell us who would be a good candidate for it and kind of a little bit about it?
Sure. Actually, everybody could benefit from it, even people who work out 5, 6, 7 days a week, because everybody's got an area that they can't get rid of no matter how hard they work out. But everybody would be a good candidate for it. I mean, obviously if you're pregnant, there's different contraindications, but yeah.
We're all nodding, going,
Aren't you thinking about those areas? I'm sure people at home are too, that no matter how much you work out, because that's the thing, right? When you work out, you can't target specific areas that you necessarily want to lose fat. So
got your God-given areas there.
Yep.
So you have a signature treatment. It's called Fire and Ice. What is that, and what does it do?
Yeah, it's a combination of the cool sculpting and the Thermi Smooth. So the cool sculpting freezes the fat cells, and they break away and they secrete through the body naturally. And the Thermi is heat. It's radio frequency that penetrates right underneath the skin to stimulate collagen. So it's kind of that heat and ice, and
you do it both in the same area?
We do this. We can do the same area. Thermi, it can be done in different areas, but for the best results with the cool sculpting, it's in a combination with the Thermi. It's not done in the same day. It's done over time and over treatments.
So the cool sculpting reduces areas, slims it down, and the Thermi just brings better.
It tightens.
The tightens. That's the word.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I want to add too, the cool and hot may have some people thinking, oh, this sounds painful, but it's not, from my understanding.
It's not. Cool sculpting is the #1 requested non-invasive treatment in the country right now, and it is the only FDA-approved treatment for using a cooling, a guided cooling system. So when it freezes the fat, it freezes up to 20 to 25% fat reduction in the area of the application.
Wow.
So,
That's such a far cry from the days of the liposuction and the vacuuming,
Thank goodness.
Sounds relaxing.
Much better.
The cool sculpting is a little, it's not as relaxing as the Thermi, but it's definitely well worth it.
Right. And I want to mention too your experiences that you're going to be bringing to this med spa. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, well, I've been in this industry for over 30 plus years.
Which just gives you such peace of mind, you know, when you're going somewhere.
Yeah, and all of our team has got an extensive amount of experience. So I've had the spa industry. I've owned my own businesses, Cameo Spa Salon downtown for 17 years. Awesome. And I've worked for surgeons in Chicago as well as Wisconsin. And so we've got a well-versed group of talent.
We're almost out of time, but we want to get in the important stuff, like when do you open and what kind of specials are you running? We have about 30 seconds left.
So we will be open by March 15th, at least opening our doors. Nice. And our specials are buy one Cool Sculpt cycle, receive a second free, and then 25% off all of our treatments through the end of April.
That's great.
Yeah. Such a great incentive for folks to stop on in. I'm sure people at home are marking their calendars. March 15th is the date to keep in mind. Again, Yvette Frazier with Aesthetic Artistry Med Spa in Sun Prairie, opening up soon. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. And this is Girl Talk. We'll be back after the break.
Hi, welcome back to Girl Talk. We're filming today, as you may have guessed, at America's Best Flowers. We're going to be chatting with those folks later in the show about houseplants. Right now, we want you to maybe remember or meet Julie Lombardo. She's with Capital Physical Therapy, and we're so pleased to talk to you today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. Now, you've been on our show before, but I want to make sure we kind of touch a little bit on some of the basics, like what is physical therapy, and kind of remind viewers how it works.
Yeah, sure. So as physical therapists, we are movement specialists. So I like to tell people, if something in your body isn't moving correctly, or if you have pain when you move, that's where a physical therapist can help you.
That's great.
And then who would this be for?
Yeah, okay. So I've said it in the past too that I think there's, with physical therapy, there's a misconception that it's only possibly for athletes. But we see everything from the young kid who sprained his ankle on the basketball court all the way up to the senior who has had a joint replacement or has gotten weaker and wants to stay in their home, longer, that sort of thing. And in fact, our group is probably about 25 to 30% seniors and Medicare or patients with Medicare insurance. Which reminds me, there's been some really great news, a great victory in the last month of a new law that was passed to repeal the therapy cap.
Interesting. That's not something I know a lot about, Medicare and the therapy cap in particular. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and what that means?
Yeah, so for the past 20 years, I've been a therapist for 20 years now, but for the past 20 years, since the Balanced Budget Act of 1997, people that have Medicare for their insurance have had a limit on the amount of therapy they can receive in a year. So earlier this month, after 20 years of advocacy, they passed another law that no longer limits the amount of therapy that a patient can have during any given year. So this is a really great victory for seniors across our nation. And many times it wasn't a problem, but for too many times a situation would happen where, say, I would see someone early in the year and rehab them, and then something else would happen where they'd need some therapy later in the year, and they wouldn't have any therapy dollars left from Medicare. So they would either have to wait until January of the next year for the therapy dollar amount to reset, or pay cash, which most people cannot do.
Right.
So this has been a really great victory for for seniors across the nation, that they're going to be able to get the therapy when they need it. So we're pretty excited about that.
And I'm sure there's a certain amount of progress that's made, and then if you stop care because you don't have the funding,
Yes.
You kind of probably take a slide
Yeah.
back. So that's a really great victory.
Yeah, think about the seniors that have had a stroke, and then you're stopping short of full rehab. So we're really glad that we can continue on
Wow,
with them.
that's great news, really. Let's talk a little bit for folks who are watching, seniors, our parents, if they're interested in getting an appointment, and this kind of applies to them now with some of the caps being lifted.
Yep.
How do they do that? What's the best way?
Yeah, easy. Another great thing about having Medicare as their insurer is that they have the freedom to go to any clinic that they want to. They can go to a private clinic like ours. They can go to a hospital-based clinic. They're not tied. They get to choose the provider that they would like to see. So that's really great. For us, it's just pick up the phone and call. The other thing that a lot of seniors, I think, don't know is that they don't need a doctor's referral to come and see a physical therapist. We're always allowed to do an evaluation, and we stay in very close contact with the patient's physician for their care.
That was the first thing that came to mind. You kind of assume you need that doctor referral, but
Yeah,
not
no,
the
you
case.
don't. No,
That's
you
great.
don't. Yeah.
So I'm sure people are watching and wanting to know where you located. Can
Oh,
you
sure.
tell us about that?
Yeah, we span across Dane County. So our locations, we have 6 locations across Dane County, all the way from Mount Horeb to Verona. We have 2 in Madison, Wanakee, and Sun Prairie. So there's pretty much somewhere across Dane County we're able to be a convenient location for most people.
That's
And
great.
Julie, we've got a little bit of time left. Is there anything you'd just like to tell viewers at home and remind them?
Yeah, sure. So I think that sometimes people get nervous or they're not sure if they're appropriate for therapy. We always welcome phone calls. If someone wants to call and talk directly with the therapist, we very much welcome those phone conversations.
Wow,
Well,
that's just a great peace of mind and being able to do that.
I bet a lot of people could benefit from something like that, even if you haven't been injured or had something catastrophic happen. But we're out of time. We got to go. But you always do so great. Thank you so much, Julie Lombardo with Capital Physical Therapy. We're here at America's Best Flowers. We'll see you after the break.
Welcome back to Girl Talk. We're at America's Best Flowers. They're in Cottage Grove. They're also in Edgerton, actually, but we're at the big America's Flowers. Yep. And with us is Barb. She's the retail manager here, and she knows so much. So it's springtime, and we are super excited about spring being here. It feels so good. Even we can hear the birds sound really happy here too.
The birds are happy, the people are happy, right? It's just a great time.
It's all good. Yeah. So today, Barb, you wanted to talk about houseplants. And maybe freshening them up. So talking about the benefits, how to freshen them up, and maybe how to care for them too. Where did you want to start?
We have a nice selection here, and just
Gorgeous.
a reminder, plants do help reduce stress in your home or where you're working. They
Have any
help
stress
to,
at work?
They help to clean the air, and they add beauty and interest to any room that you might be putting them in.
They really do. Just even a little touch of something on your desk at work. I
Absolutely.
did that at my work, and it really did make it feel more welcoming and more comfortable.
More like home.
A little more like home. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a favorite that's on the table with us, Barb?
I really like the Diefenbachia, the color and the variegated one. It's very pretty.
Very pretty.
And is that easy to care for?
It is. A lot of these plants will take kind of a medium light, which would be maybe an east or west window. There are plants that'll take lower light. The two on the floor
Oh,
are
good.
peace lilies
ask, yeah.
and Chinese evergreens. Those will take really a very low light area. An office would be nice for those.
That might
what I
be
was
good
gonna
for me. I
say.
have no windows in my
Right.
space, and I love the peace lily.
And one thing you can keep in mind is if you're noticing it isn't looking quite as fresh as it did, maybe it needs a little more light. Take it home for a while. Put it in a window that has a little more light for a month or so, and then bring it back. You can always rotate your plants throughout your house or
that's a
any
good idea.
location.
Now that's an interesting idea for an office, to have maybe two plants, one at the office, one at home, and then you just swap them. Yeah, back and forth.
And it just adds, visual interest to your space and kind of makes it feel new.
Yes,
I like that idea.
yes.
Perfect.
These, this looks, sorry, my voice just went there. This is a succulent here, and this one too?
Yes,
This is a succulent.
it is.
Really?
It's a snake plant, a mother-in-law's tongue, and these can take rather high light.
Okay.
They do really well in those areas. A lot of these other ones are for, like I said, a medium light, an east or a west window. And keep in mind that in the wintertime, the light coming through that same window is different than in the summertime.
Oh, that's a good point.
There, like if you have a south window and you have some succulents in it, as the sun gets higher in the summer, the sun is more intense, and you might want to move them back a little if you see a little bit of sunburn coming on the leaves. Also keep in mind if there's a tree out there, in the wintertime, there's no leaves on the tree, so the light will be a little bit more intense, but overall, the light is lower in the winter, so you still might be able to keep it there. If the leaves come back on in the summer, you might, it might still be okay, but keep an eye on it, depending on how much shade is
Kinda
offered
tell
by
you
the tree.
what they need a little bit, won't they? I mean,
Right.
if it's doing something funny, it needs something.
Right.
Something
It needs
different.
something
Yep.
new.
I wanted to know too, Barb, with it being springtime, is this a good time to maybe repot your plants?
It is. This is the best time
Okay.
from now till in the beginning of summer. You don't want to initiate a lot of new growth with transplanting through the winter, but now the days are getting longer, and this is a good time
Good
to
time.
refresh them.
Perfect.
Which is perfect because you have a workshop coming up March 24th, actually, where you can bring in your house plant that needs a new home, a new pot. You can bring in a pot of your own, or you can buy one here. Either way is fine, and you can make the mess here. That's the cool part.
Have you guys ever tried to repot plants in your home? Because I have.
How did you do that?
I ended up with dirt all over the floor, and I had to vacuum it up and mop. It was not good.
You think you're going to
This
be
is much easier.
careful, and
Nope.
it still doesn't work.
Right?
Yeah. Make the mess here, but you know that they're known for their soil. You
Yes.
have some secret sauce in
Yes.
your soil.
Secret sauce. I love it.
What a cool workshop.
So again, that
Great
workshop is on
opportunity.
March 24th. You can get your questions answered. It's so much easier sometimes to just bring it in and say, okay, this is the problem.
Yep.
And now you know that there's secret sauce soil, so that's even better.
Can we talk about some of the other workshops that you have?
Yes.
I have one that Ellen, you might be interested
Yeah.
in. Well, it's called Small Space. It's small space gardening, so it's outdoor or indoor? Outdoor?
Outdoor mostly.
Oh,
Cool.
okay.
That's perfect though, because at my apartment building, they actually have a little area where you can rent a small square of a garden plot, which I've been really interested in doing. So, but it's obviously a small space.
Okay, that one's on March 10th. It's just an hour, and there's no charge.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Another one, straw bale gardening. Now that's been such a popular topic for a couple years now. Again, it's no charge.
No charge.
Okay, that one's on March 17th. This one sounds great. Easter egg hunt. I used to love looking for Easter eggs when I was a kid. I love that.
I still love it.
That one's March 31st. Is that outdoors?
That's actually inside here, so it's rain or
nice.
shine.
Rain or shine, love that.
Yep.
And no charge for that either.
Correct.
All ages, or what's a good age
All
group
ages.
for
An
that?
Who are you
adult
asking
Ages,
for?
I think it's
Friend.
I think it's through age 6.
Okay, but
Yeah.
no minimum age.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Sounds good.
That sounds fun. That's on March 31st. I don't know what day of the week that is. And you're going to be teaching some of these workshops, Barb.
I will. The the repotting one I will be.
For the house plants?
Others will be doing the small space.
Oh,
Sure.
Yep. Oh, I missed one. There's one about growing herbs. I know some
Yes.
people get all excited about growing herbs.
yes.
And you said that could be indoor or outdoor
Yes.
growth.
That's kind of
To
a
plant a
trend.
container.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing herbs in your kitchen. I love
Yep.
it.
Well, there is so much going on here at America's Best Flowers, and this is your gal right here. She can help you with so much, whether it's indoor or outdoor, and they have so much for indoor and outdoor here too, besides plants. Thank you so much, Barb.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you to all of our guests. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Girl Talk.
Beauty and styling for Girl Talk provided by the Ultimate Veritas Spa and Salon.